Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Puff Drink Talk podcast. I'm Konrad Schubach.
I'm Hilton Kill.
I'm Andreas Schmidt.
Yeah, we have today
Special guest.
special guest. Yes, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dylan,
It's spooky season and sick season.
yeah, he got sick. So it's his turn now. You had the turn last week.
Yeah.
So, okay, next week I'll try not to get sick.
It's not fun. It's not fun.
Okay, I'm the older guy, so I don't know how the older guy is healthier than the young guys.
It's an anomaly to me, too. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
I think although spooky season, I'm about 175 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've filed my teeth, so that's why
So
you don't
you've
see.
been through this before. You know all of this. You're completely healthy.
Yeah, I'm a vampire. Are we smoking something today?
We definitely are.
Okay, let's show you what we're smoking today. Really good cigars, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Really good cigars. Interesting selection.
So I'm going to be having today the Furio, I don't know how to pronounce this one, Furio Tego Metropolitan Habano. So it's a Nicaraguan cigar and it's a puro because it's wrapper, binder, and filler, all Nicaraguan. Should be a good one for me. Let's see how it goes.
It's a fatty. It's going to take you a while to smoke that thing.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a little while.
We're going to be here for a while. And then I'll be smoking the Oliva Connecticut Reserve. It is a Connecticut wrapper, but a Nicaraguan binder and filler. And I'm excited to smoke this thing. It looks creamy and delicious, like a...
Suppose Andre's not smoking anything today.
No, I'm sticking with the beer.
Okay.
There we go.
He's on the drink part, not on the puff and drink.
It's okay. He's still welcome here.
Oh yeah, of course. We welcome everybody. Yeah, sound good. So what are we gonna be talking about?
So it's the end of the spooky season, so I thought it would be an interesting way of wrapping up the Halloween spooky season. We'll talk about some ghost stories. Have you ever seen one? Have you ever felt the presence of it? Talk about demons, some possessions. I know there's been some viral videos of exorcisms, and it's always a touchy subject. I've never been a particularly fond of that subject. It always
Conversation might surprise you today.
Yeah. You could be in for something. And then I thought we would wrap up our conversation parts with AI, robotics, Terminators, and
I think that's spookier than anything else.
I was gonna say yes,
Yeah.
very much so, very much so. Yes,
All of it.
the whole thing. And then of course we have Battle of the Logos at the very end.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have our football picks, and Dylan honored us with his picks as well. So he sent a text with his picks, and we're gonna be mentioning his picks. I don't know how well I did last week because I didn't tall it.
I didn't count it up either.
Yeah, Dylan sent to us, so we know. But
Yeah.
Please.
We're in the dark. I don't know math. Dylan, you're the only one that knows how to do it.
It is spooky.
Spooky how dumb we are, man. My goodness.
Please subscribe, comment, and like the content, and send to your friends and families and enemies if you don't like.
Let us know if there's a subject you'd like to talk about, like us to talk about, expand on. We'll be sure to cover it in the upcoming podcasts.
Thank you. Well, why am I saying thank you? We're not done. We're gonna start the conversation now. Cheers, my friends.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So today we are drinking
Margarita.
ready to serve margarita mix.
Why are you covering the sponsor there? Oh, because they're not sponsoring.
They're not sponsoring us yet.
Don't show them.
Maybe when they like this podcast, then we can get sponsored for some more. Margarita mixes are always so easy to go down. They're refreshing.
Remember one cigar we had once we were smoking margarita, lime margarita, and then we were puffing the cigar and it was changing it to orange.
The flavor profile was so interesting.
That was the Gurkha Governor cigar.
And the only reason that I feel like it wasn't a fluke is because it happened to you and it happened to me.
Yeah.
Where we were both like, are you tasting orange with this?
Actually, when we lit the cigar, and then I started smoking the cigar, and then drinking the margarita. It's like, well, hold on, and then I was like, and I saw you're lighting it still.
Yeah.
And I was like, Konrad, just drink that margarita right now, and then you drank like the alcohol went away.
Yep.
And is it orange now?
Yeah.
And it's like exactly what happened to me. So like the alcohol just disappeared.
Which is dangerous because, and you and I proceeded to have like 15 more margarita drinks.
It was a massive, big, cigar.
Yeah.
So that was a huge 7.5-inch cigar.
Yeah, that took some time.
Large. It took some time.
It took some time.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's light this bad boys and start
do
the
it.
conversation.
Let's do it. All right.
No more ice?
I think I will. Thank you. This is delicious, Hilton.
I was going to ask, how was the impression?
I really like that.
Is there an American cigar?
The Connecticut wrapper is an American tobacco. So that one has an American tobacco in it. But it's made in Nicaraguan with the filler, the binder, the binders. What are they? Nicaraguan. So it's like a blend. So it has American tobacco and Nicaraguan tobacco, which normally could potentially be like a Cuban seed or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oliva cigar is really good, that one.
But no, that's a really interesting question, Andres. Is there like a pure American cigar besides Backwoods?
Like you're tasting American cigar brand.
Yeah, like Lady Liberty.
I'm sure there could be like a Pennsylvania together with Connecticut.
Right.
Tobaccos. They're huge places in America. I never came across one that is actually manufactured here. So, there are a lot of cigars, like Cuban cigars in the past. Most of them were actually manufactured in Tampa. They're like American-made cigars by Cubans.
Right.
And then after the embargo, all the Cuban cigars are only made in Cuba. Well, 3 years after that, when Fuentes still had some tobaccos in stock, because when they heard about the embargo that could happen, they bought a lot of tobacco and stored it. So they had tobacco for cigars for at least 3 years worth of cigars.
Yeah.
But that was it. And then no more Cuban cigars are made in America. But there's a lot of American tobacco.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and that's where North Carolina, South Carolina, I believe, is like cigarette capital. That's where Marlboro is from. A lot of your cigarette manufacturer for the tobacco of cigarettes is from those states of the United States.
Yeah,
I do know that.
I'll think that, yes. I never came across one just because all of the factories are in Nicaragua, Honduras, Central America.
Yeah.
Maybe labor. It's that's where people know how to make it. They're there, and then it's shipped over. But I'm sure there's a guy. His name is Nick something. I forgot his last name, but he manufactures cigars here in Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken.
So, and actually, now that I think about it, when you were saying how wrapping it and kind of going like this traditional cigar shape, do you know Clint Eastwood, the famous actor? Have you seen all of his Western movies where he's always smoking a cigar, but he's like chewing on it? There's a cigar called Backwoods, and it's like loose leaf. Nothing is wrapped like this. It's kind of wrapped like it, but if you just kind of put your finger on it, like it could almost fall apart. Like the ends of it have the tobacco leaf coming out of it, and you light that, and then you can smoke it. I like them. I like smoking Backwoods. Hilton and Dylan are very uppity about it, and they do not
Very snob. We're snob.
They're very snobby about it.
Well, to be honest with you, in your house, when we smoke the natural one, the traditional one, the original,
Yes.
it was delicious. The flavored ones, too sweet for me. I can't take it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's nice about those is a lot of them will, like I brought here like a honey berry flavor.
I have it in here. Do you want me to get it? So
do you want to smoke a honey berry Backwoods?
It's sweet as hell.
It's not strong. Andreas might like it.
I could try, but I don't know. I never really tried a cigar like that much.
Well, let's try it off camera one day.
Yeah.
So I'll introduce Andre to it.
Yeah.
And then we have him on smoking something.
Yeah.
Because we don't want him, have him like coughing here.
Yeah.
We'll break you in another day.
Yeah. Well, we've been recording, so it's all on tape.
Get into it, yeah.
Well, all on tape. It tells my age. Actually, I was born before the tape, right? I'm 175 years old,
yeah. Right? We're still painting on walls when you were born.
So what is the first thing that we're going to be talking about?
So again, we're at the end of spooky season, so I thought we would wrap it up with some spooky topics. Pretty controversial topics too. If it's against your religion and stuff, you might choose not to believe it or disagree with the thoughts of it all together. But I thought we'd first talk about ghosts. Are they real? Are they figments of your imagination? What do you think of them? Have you ever experienced it? Seen a ghost or been in the presence of a ghost?
When I was a kid, in the house where my grandparents brought up, my mom and my uncles, the family on my mom's side.
Right.
So we still have that house, and the house is still in the family. A cousin of mine lives in that house. And we always thought that there was ghosts in the house because it would make noise all the time. You would have noises in the kitchen.
Randomly. Nobody's in the kitchen, and it'll start making noise, and you're like, what is going on?
And we're like 7, 8 years old, and then it noises on the floor. Now that I'm older, I'm more skeptical about it because I go like, well, it's just the wood floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was those parquet floors, those little, tiny ones that they go like mosaic style.
Yeah.
Like herringbone kind of style.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I think it was just the wood floors and the pipes in the bathrooms, instead of being ghosts. But it could have been, the ghost trying to use the bathroom and using the kitchen.
You got to shit and eat no matter if you're living or dead, apparently.
And by the way, as we're recording it, for some reason, out of nowhere,
Yes.
I had to repeat that last phrase that I just said now because everything shuts off immediately. I will put a little cut of what that was so that you can see that I'm not lying about it.
The viewers need to know.
Everything stopped working.
Yeah.
For nothing. We're starting to go.
Well,
First time that's ever happened, too, right?
yes.
Yes.
And but the kitchen, it would make noises and weird noises. Bathrooms. Unbelievable. Well, so yes. And what about you? Did you have any experience? So we just had one.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right here. Everyone sees it, knows it now. I mean, that's a tough one, Hilton, especially as kids. Your imagination's already overactive. You're already hearing and thinking things overtly. And, you always jump to conclusions as a child. You're like, oh, it had to be a ghost. It had to be this. It had something fantasy, right? Once you get a little bit older, obviously those things your perspective changes and you start realizing like, okay, like you said, it could have been the pipes. It could have been the wood.
We just stopped believing.
Yeah, or you stop believing. So my example, because when I had grown up, my sister and my brother both had experiences where they saw like my great grandpa who had passed away just randomly. They would be like, "Oh, there he is," and then a split second later, it's gone, like a vivid flash of it. The only example of anything like that happening to me was after Camila's dad passed away a couple years ago, right after my son Lucas was born. We moved down to San Diego. We were getting Lucas ready for bed. We were putting him in his crib.
Can I put a joke?
Yeah, go ahead. About my wife's dad dying?
Well, you're always talking about serious subjects, and I put a joke in there. What did he have to say after his death?
Well, so here's the thing. So it wasn't him reaching. It wasn't communication wise, but there's always the subject that ghosts or spiritual beings have like an energy to them, and they interact with electronics.
Mm-hmm.
So Camila and I, we had just had dinner. We're getting our son to bed, and Camila was bringing up her dad and how she wishes that he had came to the United States to meet because he was a very handy man, always working on things. I'd be like, man, if only he came to see like Home Depot, or some things here in the United States that you don't have in Brazil, right? And as we're talking about it, in San Diego, you don't have like a central heating and air conditioning. You just have like individual space heaters in the room in a wall.
Yeah, it's like in UK.
So we're standing there talking, and then all of a sudden the heater turns on, and none of the knobs were turned for it to be turned on. Nothing was touched. I mean, none of us were there that we could have interacted with it. We're in the same room, but away, talking. Putting a diaper on my son, getting him, out of the shower, getting some clothes on him, and the heater just randomly turns on. And Camila and I look at each other like, really? Did that just happen? So we go over and I turn it on, and then I turn it off, and it shuts off. And then there was another time that Camila was thinking about her dad, and that heater randomly came on. We were out in the living room in a different part of the apartment, and the heater came on. So, I mean, those are the only examples of something like that happening.
Was he was on the south of Brazil?
Yes.
So
In Porto Alegre.
I would say that he didn't like cold very much. So that's why he was turning the heating on.
He was turning it on. Yes. Yes.
See?
That was his way.
Did you get scared? Did you get, or it was nothing like?
No, yeah, we weren't scared. It was kind of like, okay, he's, there's definitely, he's here. He's here watching us in his way, and this is
You
his.
felt like a sign.
Yeah, exactly.
So you felt like it was just a confirmation that say, don't worry about it. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm here.
Yes.
And that was a way of showing.
Don't worry about me. Don't cry about me. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm here with you in this form, not physically but spiritually or energy wise. I'm with you guys.
And when did you call the plumber to check on the heaters?
We got the heck out of that apartment. We're like, we can't take this anymore. No, that's my only example. That's my only interaction.
Well, mine was like that when I was a kid on that house. But if we can also talk a little bit about the virus videos that are going on the internet.
Yes. So.
Well, hold on, Andre. Do you want to talk about some experience?
I have a little experience with my grandfather. Like, it's almost the same thing, but we have I can feel his presence and everything. And it's kind of odd because it's like it's a sign that he wanted to comfort you.
Yes.
Like, I'm here. I made through
Yes.
the other side, and I'm here to comfort you. And so I'm cheering for you. And it's like a goodbye. And so
That's interesting.
that's interesting.
It's a goodbye, like not in a physical form, but in a spiritual energy form.
Yes, it's like a sign that he really care for you.
Yeah.
He wanted you to be comforted, and you always get a nostalgia, like how he was used to interact with him, and in some way, I felt like they passed through some of the knowledge that he has. It goes for you in some way.
Yeah.
You're now the head of the family or this kind of thing. You gotta look out for your
Cool.
relatives and your brothers, and like the older guy dies and looking for someone to.
So that's interesting because that, for example, happened to you. And how old are you?
It happened to me. I was 30 years old.
30?
Yes.
So it was like 20 something because it was like, what, 7 years ago?
7 years ago, yeah, so I was 28.
Well, I never had, something like that. So I can't really say anything about that kind of experience. When I was a little kid, I was just like very impressed by, the sounds of the house.
Right.
We know that, houses do make sounds. Even here, sometimes I'm working there, I hear like crack.
Yeah.
And then I look back and there's nobody here because,
That's just your back. Just
that's
snapping your
probably
That's your knee.
That's me being old.
Yeah.
Thanks, Konrad.
Yeah.
You did put a joke in there.
Yeah.
Finally.
I had to get you back. Okay.
That was good.
Get lighter. The climate lighter.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, for example, I never had some. And then you guys, instead of being like an impressionable kid, do you know what I mean? It's
Yes.
not like that.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a legit kind of a feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm skeptical about these kind of things because I don't know. I mean, I never really had that personal touch when I'm a grown up.
Right.
And only when I was a kid, and I didn't really see anything. It was just noise that we heard, and it could well be, the noise on the floor. It could just be the dripping of the water, like
Right.
Yes.
talk,
It could be.
talk. It could be that.
Right.
And then the bathroom is just like pipes because the water leaking on the kitchen. And then the pipes, like kind of infiltration of air into the system to compensate for that
Hot
dripping.
water expanding, cold water going back and
Hot
constricting.
water in Brazil in an old house, no.
Oh.
We didn't have that. But
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it could be just the pressure of the water.
Right.
Maybe,
right.
well, in Brazil, we have a container full of water, right? Because
Like up on the ceiling.
up on the ceiling, yeah, on the
On the
roof.
roof.
Because there is no constant flow of water. So that could just be when they turn the water off in the city and then they turn it back on again and then it moves the pressure of the pipes within the house.
Right.
So it could be that. So I really can't say because I didn't really have anything like that. I had different experiences though, which, it could be what the next thing that we could talk about, which is, the Catholic priests talking about exorcisms and stuff.
Yeah. So this topic, it goes hand in hand with spirits and ghosts and demon possessions, demonic possessions. And again, it all goes up to, if you believe it with your religion or not. Some people choose not to believe it. I think it's out there. I mean, there's a lot of people that have experienced it. I, thank God, have never experienced something demonic. But so Andreas, you were talking about...
No, it's cool just that people don't believe it. I think it's cool because it leaves the subject always open,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a never-ending thing.
That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah, I like that point.
Yeah.
People just not believe it. They come up with all different kind of explanation for everything, and it's interesting because I think that a lot of the psychiatrists, they always go through the approach that all that you're saying that it's like completely nonsense.
Okay.
It's all
Right.
because they don't study spirits and they don't study ghosts and they assume this everything is like complete creation.
Okay.
Or they like a scientific explanation to it.
Because they have their lives dedicated to learning the science side of things instead of the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
Interesting. Although I have to say that I've seen it.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's why I
let
said.
me get a drink of this. I gotta really, Hilton.
Yeah, when that's back in Brazil, back in the north of Brazil, where we used to live, and where the wood business used to be. And I used to go to church pretty much every day, but we had like a group that you would get together and pray. I don't know what the word would be in English, but it's in Portuguese is renovação carismática. So it's charismatic renovation. That's I don't know if direct translation would be the correct name of it, but it's a division in the Catholic Church where you have these groups, like chapters, where you have kids of like 17, 18 years old, and I was about 19 to 20 years old, and we would just get together and pray. And then there was one day that we were called because, to pray for somebody. But of course, we didn't know that, it would be something scary like that.
Yeah.
It got pretty scary. So this girl, she started sounding really crazy. And then immediately, the leader of our group called the priest, and it got out of the room. It stayed like the two main guys in there. Well, actually, a guy and a girl, and the girl that we were praying for. And then the priest came. I don't know what happened there, but I saw that first stage of like voice changing and whatnot. And
really,
I don't remember much about this day because things like that I tend to forget. For example, when I went to Egypt for my honeymoon, I remember all the good things, and I only remember the really bad things. But the subtle bad things in between,
right?
I don't remember.
Right.
And every single trip that I go, there are a few things like I'm walking too much. I don't even remember the walks. You know what I mean? I remember when, reaching to a certain point and experiencing something.
Right.
So I tend to forget. Like, I don't remember going home on that day. Probably I got back into my car and drove home. Fine. It's just because I only saved the fractions of that in my memory. So
right.
Too many years of age, 175. I have to keep
choose and select.
These lots in my memory. Right? But yeah, I had that. But I didn't see. I mean, it wasn't an exorcism happening there because we just started praying, and then she started going very deep voice and talking like that, and it's like, what's going on here? And then as soon as these bigger level realized that was going on, they got us out. I mean, we were like just beginners there.
Yeah.
We had just started praying. To see something like that, it would scare us too much.
Right.
So
he came out like he doesn't really believe it and everything, and he gave it up like the spookiest story.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just telling as it happens.
I thought it was gonna be like a chill conversation.
No, Hilton's like, let me tell you, that head was spinning around. She's up in the air. Yeah. Jeez, Hilton.
I saw her, like, her body wasn't quite right. You know what I mean? She contorts the body and spoke.
You could see that something was not
natural.
natural.
I saw with my eyes. Yeah.
You saw
unnatural
movement.
movement.
Yes.
And voice. But we stayed literally We started praying. We had been there for half an hour.
Yeah.
And then everybody praying for her. And then when that started, you only stayed like another 2 minutes because it took a little while for them to notice that.
Yeah.
Because, when you pray from somebody, you have your eyes shut and then you have your hands like that,
Right.
like sending good thoughts and, praying for the person.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this just popped up. And then I, as the skeptical one,
Yeah.
I didn't have my eyes shut all the time. I was always opening my eyes, and seeing the room and whatnot.
Yeah.
Everybody praying, and then we're praying there. I mean, I was a beginner there. I was a junior.
Yeah.
Very, very spooky. Very spooky.
Very spooky.
It doesn't bother me though. I didn't get too much impressed by it for some reason. I never really mentioned to a lot of people about it. Probably even Chris doesn't know about it, my wife. Because
Really?
I never mentioned that to her.
Right.
Just because you brought it up that you want to talk about it. It's like, I actually remember something that happened to me. So, which is kind of weird and in somehow interesting.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yes, that's heavy story, bro. I'm sensitive with that stuff. Like,
You are?
Yeah, like exorcisms, the thing is like very impressed me.
I think there are people out there that are more susceptible to receiving or hearing or being possessed by certain things, certain energies out there.
Yes.
There might be something that we cannot visually see with our eyes or comprehend with our brain, from the information that we're receiving, that is out there, that's walking amongst us, right now. So, I mean,
Yeah, I don't discard. I'm not too much of a believer,
right.
but I don't discard because I've
seen
something weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, as anybody could go and say, well, this just, she was acting and she was just a flexible person.
Right.
Of course, I didn't see her like folding in half. No, it was just like a weird neck and arm, shoulder movement kind of.
Right.
Something that we don't see people doing as normal.
Naturally.
Naturally. Yeah. Although it could be movement that can be achieved with the body. It's just, she was uncomfortable with the prey.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why she was uncomfortable with the prey. So it could just be a fluke. It could just be, somebody that was very sensitive and didn't feel comfortable with having. We were like 6 and 2, so eight people there. 2 cars, 4 in each car. But then 6 of us got out because they were like, because they was like, there's this person that needs praying. Let's go and pray. And then everybody was busy, and then it was like, okay. So Hilton, Juliana, can you come? And so, okay, and then we just gather our army, together, and we went. And then we saw that. It was like,
I did not sign up for this.
yeah. I was like, I'm stopping with this shit.
Yeah. No, really.
we carried on going, and we used to go and pray for a lot of people.
That's awesome.
And today I saw too many things in the church, and bad things. And of course, it's not the church; it's the people in the church.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need that. I just need to be a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I come back. I saw this movie, The Farius. It's
Yeah.
a great movie about demonic possession and everything. And he told a great story. How the movie is about how these demons work and everything. I think the great message of the movie is about when you're not the believer, when you're skeptical and everything, you always give yourself open to these demons. If you go to the church and pray and everything,
You seal yourself. You have a shield.
yeah.
Interesting.
The atheist, skeptical person, they keep open the door sometimes for the bad person. Just go through this. They're already open.
Right.
But the people who are atheists and they do this kind of stuff like demonic likes and
Yeah.
they see the opportunity to this person might go my way.
Right.
And in the movie, the demon possessed person. If you want to see it, you can go ahead. It's a great movie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we should watch it, right?
Now you bring it up, I'm kind of curious about it because this is definitely not my favorite thing. I do not. And you and I were talking about it. We were talking about it like there's that scary possibility of it happening, and I'm Jesus, Hilton, I just shit my pants listening to that story. I mean.
Sorry.
No, but I'm just like, it's.
That's why the smell is different in here.
the hell is going on?
It's gonna affect the reviews of the cigar. And by the way, we do take reviews of the cigar and then we post on the channel later on.
Watch it. Subscribe.
Let's go to AI.
Oh, that's gonna be even shit now. That
See, and that's a tangible. Yeah, that's
tangible.
Yes.
Yeah, that we can actually see it.
So we have our spiritual scary, ghosts, demons, and supernatural. And then we have our scientific scary with AI and robotics.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting circle of scary that we came around on this one. So, I mean, obviously with ChatGPT, the rise of artificial intelligence and robotics for that matter, I just saw at Costco they're using self-driving forklifts, like semi-forklifts.
That's dangerous.
And that's what I was thinking, especially during like business hours. Can you imagine one of those robots not seeing a kid or some person jetting out in front of the thing and not stopping?
If they try to get a pallet that is on the top shelf and then for some reason the fork is not perfectly aligned because maybe the light hit it and kind of confused the sensor or something like that, the camera, because nowadays the cameras are a better sensor than a sensor itself,
Right.
and it's cheaper because it's image recognition.
Yeah.
Than having a sensor that's going to read like a LiDAR kind of thing.
Right.
That reads all the surfaces. And so the LiDAR is much more expensive. So it's cheaper to fit a camera in there because, how much is a camera? And how much is the software that's already been developed?
Yeah.
It's just being bought by the quantities, by companies to do image recognition.
Well, then you can adjust the software or the program for the camera to recognize anomalies as opposed to radar. You can be like, okay, something's off with this picture, scan using artificial intelligence, like a cup should look like this. Why does the cup look like this?
And then it's not a cup.
Then it's not a cup.
And then it makes a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If the pallet is not straight, it's a little bit tilted because it was a human before putting that on over there instead of a robot.
Right.
Forklift.
Right.
Because I make mistakes on my forklift all the time. Never really caused any damage, but it's like for an inch or so, moving and then when you're leaving the pallet there, and it's kind of a tiny, still a little bit stuck, and then the fork kind of connected and only pulls half of the pallet, just a tiny little bit, and then it turns.
Yeah.
Like if you see the truck right now that's loaded with materials, when I put the pallet in there, it was perfect straight. When I was coming out, it touched the pallet and then it twisted a little bit.
Yeah.
So, this thing, what if it happened and then, for some reason the robot didn't recognize. It's going to go and get it, and then it touched it, somewhere and pushes it, and then all of the aisles are just like, boom, 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 it goes fall on top of lots of people.
Right.
It's very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Very dangerous.
And if you put a malicious software in that forklift, a hacker or something.
Yep.
And then now we have a 5-ton thing driving around maliciously.
Rampaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It can be used as a weapon.
Yeah, I actually, just this morning, because in between editing, some videos and doing some quotes and smoking a cigar in the morning, as I was uploading a video of the cigar review, I put to watch, it just popped up on Elon Musk talking to Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah, I just saw there's a new...
That one popped up for me. And then Joe Rogan, Elon Musk was just saying that, what if he was going to fly out to robotic AI kind of congress or something like that. I don't quite recall all because I was busy doing something else. I wasn't paying too much attention, but I was paying attention enough to know the subject.
Right.
And then he mentioned that, like, what if, because he mentioned about a guy that says there's 8 billion people in the world. I wish there was none. So what if a software, what if that software was developed by, and he even mentioned, like, well, start with yourself then.
Yeah.
And then we're fine.
Right.
And we're okay now. But these people that they want the human race vanished. And they are humans, right? But they want it vanished from the earth. So what if a AI is developed by a person like that and puts that software on a robot that it's strong and it's unbeatable or something like that?
Terminator.
It's a Terminator.
It happened in movies, yeah.
It happened in movies, and it's just like life copying fiction.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What do you think, Andres?
That's terrifying. I think most level AI, like self-driving car, that has already happened. Does anybody see anyone of this on the streets?
Well, and it's,
Because it was a promise. It was a promise of Elon that he's going to put it in a self-driving car.
My car, if I pay $15,000, it would self-drive. Yeah, my car does it. But
$15,000.
$15,000 to upgrade to do it, because I have to upgrade $3,000, and then I have to upgrade $5,000, and then I have to upgrade the final $7,000, and that is $15,000 all
Yeah.
total. It's 3, 5, and 7. Yeah, to get to the stage of the self-driving, because I just have a normal cruise control. I don't have even the intelligent cruise control that takes the distance and
Right.
He has all the sensors, but although it's Elon Musk, he doesn't hire Terminators.
Yeah, not yet.
Then
Do you know?
that's the reason why he bought Twitter, actually, because he wanted to take all these people somehow. Well, first he wanted to give the right of speech to the far left, to the center, and to the right people, and anybody that was like leaning towards center was too right for the far left people.
Right.
But he mentioned that as well on the podcast, on the clip that I saw.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it.
Twitter has often been in the place of a bunch of bots
Oh yeah.
tweeting messages.
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I've been studying a little bit of AI. I think a brand new AI, very few people develop a new AI. And when you start studying the machine learning and all this bunch of algorithms, you're not really innovating, because you follow this algorithm and you put data here and that, but the innovations is made by a few small portion of people. Well, you see a bunch of people working with machine learning and artificial intelligence. You only put in different kind of data in an algorithm, they already made it. The only thing you have to do is understand it.
Okay.
But innovating in AI is very, very, very complicated. The things are developing is people getting the algorithms to doing similar things. But
Is it like the brain has already been developed, and then all you're trying to do is just tweak a little bit to put some more information?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
it was a little bit disappointing, because AI to innovate is like almost you have to be a really genius like to innovate this. But you working with AI, you just put train models, and the computer is going to do this.
So you're just
Right.
a user, like the same way as you're just using a computer as a hardware.
Yes, you have what you're trying to accomplish. Let's see, you want to recognize a face of a cat. They have a bunch of machine learning, and you go and you train the computer to recognize you, but you're full of a bunch of picture of cats, and you fill up and you make the computer understand it. But in AI, if you want to develop a new technology, this is a whole different scenario. A lot of people who work with AI just
utilizing it.
use they already developed the technology. Developing AI is a scientist. It's like a freaking scientist. It's very
Yeah, you have to do some. Yeah, I understand about computers. I did computer science in college.
Yeah.
So I understand a little bit about algorithms and whatnot. It's just in order to make something, and my understanding, because I stopped doing that 10 years ago, almost 12 to be honest. And at the time, it was just you could create something intelligent, but you needed database in order to store the data, and then you go back to the database, read the data, and then compare and whatnot. It's just like a way of making maybe a little bit faster. I don't know, but yeah, I do understand what you're saying, because in order to have something that is fast, that can put together information, it might be a different algorithm altogether. So
yes, like you go to AI. If you want to understand the different models, you can go ahead. You can do the very first one, the second. This model do this model generate the maps and everything, GPS, but you already knew it. I'm never going to develop anything. And
Right.
all the careers of AI is just reusing stuff.
Right.
But I don't understand. People say, "Oh, I work with the artificial intelligence." But it's cool. But the chance that people are developing new stuff is very small.
Very little.
Well, and that's a valid point, because even for AI to pull the data, it's very limited data. It might be 15, 20, 30 years of data, but how long have humans and we as a population, or we as a people, been alive in this world? We've been here for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So the data for AI to pull, to extrapolate, and to do anything. I mean, have you seen those AI generated photos? Some are beautiful and truly artistic, but then some of them you'll look at it, you go, oh, that's kind of nice. That's really interesting that, an AI did this. But then you'll see like an arm up like this, or a face, like a face in the background. It has like an ear over here. Like, some things are just completely off. And the AI models still hasn't perfected some things. Like, I still think artificial intelligence is in its infancy, and it just needs to take more time and more data for it to develop into something more.
I concur to that, because I use AI almost every day in the form of chat, in the form of image creation. It saves time.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the images I could never use. For example, for this podcast itself, I was trying to create an image with a glass and a cigar sitting on top.
Right.
And I just wanted to have that, with a whiskey glass and a cigar sitting on top. I was like, I'm going to take a photo, because the AI, with my information, even I use an AI to create the typing for that, because I was trying, and it didn't work. And then, it sometimes had the cigar going through the glass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had one, and then I was like, I want a table with people talking on a podcast setup. Because I was like, okay, I give up.
Yeah.
And then I give up on the image that I wanted to create for the podcast. So give me a table with people talking about podcasts. I created a table with 3 legs, a square table with 3 legs, and it missed a leg. And then I was like, put a table on the patio, and they're like outside on the patio, like having a conversation, barbecue in the background. It created it. It's like, oh, that's impressive. But then the lines, they would not connect. And it's like, it would be like 2 different. Have you seen those stairs that people go around, and then it's supposed to be going up, and then it shows up again on the bottom one?
Right.
Have you seen those?
It's like the never-ending stairs.
Yeah, the never-ending
that just
stairs.
keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like that. The image was giving me that.
Right.
A perspective that was unreal. It's like, I cannot use that image. So I gave up. It's like, I created the logo myself, and this is actually the logo. So that's the logo there. So I put those 2 images together and put it on. So
yeah.
And it wasn't AI, because I tried to use AI, and I couldn't.
Right.
It wouldn't give me a nice image, or even a logo. It wouldn't give me a logo. It's like, forget
they
about
have
it.
a hard time. The computer had a hard time to have creativity and innovate.
Yes. And I think that goes back to Costco example. We have logic. We recognize that palette is not completely straight, so we need to adjust a little bit. The computer is going to see and be like, oh, that's not what I'm programmed to see. And
It's
that's
not a palette, actually.
It's not a palette. Yeah, that's a cat that I'm seeing. I'm going to back up and go down and return home. And, and raise flags and whatnot.
If it does that, it's fine. The problem is it pushes it.
Yeah, exactly. But as an example, So, I mean, I think AI is still in its infancy. Eventually, it should be getting better.
It's kind of scary, because in software engineering, it's already scary, because you have seen the others engineering, mechanical, computer science, software engineering. We already studying the newest stuff. The newest update. Have so much little time, and we already do not have the time to study the whole thing.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's becoming worse and worse. The new students are going to start studying the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. But we don't know how the computer processor works. Like software engineering is becoming so fast, and it's developing so high. It's a completely waste time to understand everything.
Oh yeah, you take a long time.
Right.
We're not going to do it.
Yeah.
From the first computer being created to now.
People are starting to college. They don't understand everything.
They have no. Yeah, they don't understand.
You want to do it? You want to take on that journey?
No, I don't want to take. But
I'm just asking, because sometimes it feels like if you don't take that journey, you don't fully understand.
Right.
Yeah, because software engineering is going that way.
Yes.
You don't have to understand. It's crazy. It's
Just
so little
use
time,
that
but
little
it's
thing.
developed a lot, and it is scary.
Yeah.
And to that, sorry to cut you off, but in our last podcast we were talking about the Egyptians and how the pyramids were made. And of course I bring up that alien, supernatural, some type of foreign knowledge was imparted on the building of, the pyramids of Giza. But like Hilton was saying, he goes, what if it was just ancient knowledge that we don't know about that got lost? And I feel like this is a perfect example.
Yes.
Of
you made a connection there. Yeah.
How new software engineering, what it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you had to understand the whole process of everything. Now someone coming in, they're like, I don't know, but I'm just going to do this.
Just going to do this.
And
it's already, the basics of it is
Yes.
already built.
It's already built.
I can
it's
just
there.
use that as a tool.
Yes.
Instead. So that actually is a good connection there. It's a good example that it could have not been aliens.
Right.
Could just have been the fish.
The oceans put it up together.
We're going to give a little pause and I'm going to do the review of the cigar because we're getting quite down. The conversation is so interesting that we're forgetting about to do the reviews on the cigar. So we're going to get back to the conversation soon. And we are back.
Right.
It was a quick one.
Yeah. We can almost jump into the second, third.
Where do you think that now that we're talking about the robots and whatnot, how do you feel about it? How you feel like there is a real, it's like the more, I know that every single tool, like a knife, can be used to cut meat or can be used to cut flesh. Do you feel like there could be a risk, AI and robotics altogether?
I do. I personally do. And I think it was the first podcast with Elon Musk and Joe Rogan where Elon brought up how he went to Obama and I believe it was the UN leaders and brought up the importance of putting into place governance.
I remember that.
Or government governance. Yes. Ethical AI. Because it's going to get to a point where it can get out of hand. And I do think that's going to be a major part of the future of AI, is that it's going to advance so fast and so quickly that it will be uncontrollable, and then we cannot shut it down or stop it from progressing past what we want it to do. Malicious or for the benefit of humankind, we don't know. But to have something that would take that power away from us and that freedom and just be like, yep, I'm turning everything off for you guys. See you later. Fight for yourselves. It's a scary possibility. And I think it is a possibility.
It could be.
Yeah. Andres, what do you think?
I think we should probably watch out because it's going to be a shifting of what we're supposed to be doing. We're doing our work in this area. We're supposed to do on that area. I think it's the human aspect on everything is when you go to a restaurant and you see the waiter, you see the guy cooking back there and everything. And that's the human side and everything. They cannot be lost. The people need to do.
It feels natural.
Yeah, when you see somebody working on the shop, working on the market or whatever, they are not really just able to do that. They're able to do a bunch of stuff, right? But the dangerous is the jobs are getting very fewer and fewer of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What we're gonna do? It's going more slowly than people are anticipating. The AI stuff, but going a little bit slower. But I don't know.
I think I get your point and I agree. And the reason is when you have a person that has such access to money and knowledge, like a person like Elon Musk, that everybody, most of the left thinking, the left part thinkers think about. They say that Elon Musk is a monster, or you know what I mean. They come off of these very judgmental instead of being understanding what the words of the mouth of the guy is coming out as of. For example, I'm not a defendant of a rich person or white supremacist, or I don't care for that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
What I see is like a person like that having access and knowledge about something, and then he speaks about it, and people go about saying that's nonsense or he's just crazy and he's a monster or whatever. But when he says something like that, and then you see, is he trying to scare people? He might be trying to scare a little bit so that we get a little bit more of awareness.
Right.
I see that as a little bit of a propaganda to bring up, awareness
Because I
for the
think
more
it's
powerful people.
Elon Musk is the person who have that approach of being scared and everything.
Yeah.
We don't see other big CEO that statement for everybody.
He's more open, right?
He's more open.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I agree with your point, and at the same time, when you say robotics and AI, it doesn't really need to be human-like body, like somebody working. For example, a friend of mine, Julio, just came back from China after a hiatus of 5 years. So because he always went to China because of the business, his family. And he went to KFC over there because KFC is much bigger than McDonald's over there. And if you don't have an app, you can order it. There is no person working at a counter.
It's going to start happening here pretty soon.
I mean, it already has. You see now.
No person working as a.
If you go, no person at all. Over here, if you go to a McDonald's,
It's accounting.
if you go to McDonald's right now, you have a totem. China went extreme. You gotta use the app, you know what I mean? And then you pay with WeChat or whatever the other apps that they have over there, government kind of controlled app.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta have the app, you gotta order through the app, and the cell phone picks up from the location you are on which KFC, and then you order it. And then they have people working making the sandwich as of yet, right?
Right.
But it's not
So
a
there are
human.
people. Oh.
It's not a human taking your order. It's just an application on your
Right.
cell phone taking the order. And of course, somebody over there, and then they put it on a bag, they put it out there, a conveyor belt comes out, and then you don't see anybody,
Right.
and then it has your number there, and then that's your meal. Then you'll take it away with you. So,
Of course, you have to log in and everything.
oh yeah, because I mean, you use the app, and then you place an order, and then you have to have the app, the WeChat or whatever, that you connect to the bank account and then take the money away. It's all through the app. There is no money, physical money anymore,
Right.
transaction. If you go, just to finish this, sorry.
Yeah, no.
If you go to a McDonald's over here, right, when everybody wants to put the basic income up, and then, McDonald's said, and Walmart said, yes, we're going to do it. Yeah, we do it. And then now you go to Walmart, and there's 4 people working now.
Yeah.
Because everything else is checkout. So you go to a McDonald's, there's a totem there, and then you order through the totem. And it might have one person there taking orders. Before it was 4,
Right.
5 on some busier locations. And now there's only one person. But the busier locations, you just have like 8 totems that you order through that screen. It's the same as using the app. Or you use that or you use the app.
Right.
And then you say, no, I'm picking up at this location. One day I went to pick up at McDonald's here on 620. Chris ordered everything through the phone and just went to go like, I have an app and this is the number.
Yeah.
And then they gave it to me and then I went.
Convenient.
Convenient.
Very convenient.
But, I mean, there was a person there to hand me the meal. But, it could just be like when I get there, I type in my order and conveyor belt brings that. So
It's very data-oriented business.
yeah, and then we're gonna put the $2 up for the basic income instead of $6. Now it's $8. Basic pay. But
Now
then
we
they
don't
fire.
need-
They fire 3 people, and then now it's much more profitable.
You know what separates us from that age of robots and everything? You know what? The distance?
Mhm.
It's not much of a technology of the time. Is that we are cheap.
Yes.
Those robots are expensive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We are still cheap.
We're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
cheap.
Very
Very
interesting
intelligent,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Very
great
intelligent point over there.
Yeah.
We are cheap, and the robot is still expensive. But one day the robot will be cheaper
Yeah.
Yes.
as well.
Yes, it will be pretty soon. But no, I was gonna talk about the fact of if you're using an app, and I don't know the laws and the regulations that are in China, I would assume, and I mean I'm sure America's doing this too, but in order for you to qualify for, or maybe here's a scary thought in the future, what was that show on Netflix, Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Where when you start doing things, it's gonna go against your personal score.
No. Let me tell you.
You're ordering McDonald's, you're getting fatter. The government's watching. Oh, you ordered a 10-piece
My
KFC thing.
My friend, in China now, if you cross the street, not on the crossing line,
Yeah.
on the other side,
Civilian points.
Civilian points.
on the other side of the screen, there's a camera picking up and then shows your face on a bigger camera and blinks it, saying that you crossed not on the right place on there. And if you do that enough, if that person is marked so many times and calls you, instead of just ringing the ringtone, it's gonna blink colors on your whatever color they choose to blink
Yeah.
on your phone and say, if you pick up the call, also it's gonna put down your credit. Let's say I crossed the street in the wrong place 5 times.
Right.
Now I'm a bad civilian because I'm doing that.
You're breaking. Yeah.
I'm breaking the norm,
Right.
right? So whatever
Not reinforcing the system.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
not. I'm
yes.
not exactly. So what happens, like, if I call you and you pick up the phone, your scores go down
I'm associated.
you are associated with me.
See, then you
That's
become almost kind of like like in the olden days, if someone had leprosy, it was a dangerous disease. Get away from me because I
Yeah.
don't want to catch it. And
Yeah.
other people are like, hey, you're going to bring down my civilian score.
Mm-hmm.
If I talk with you, I associate with you.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's what I'm saying is like in China, that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and everything is ordering it through the app. And when you sign up and you read through all of the reader disclosures,
No, you don't read it.
You
but-
never read.
Yeah,
You-
well, in China,
Yes. But here in the United States, how much of your data is being sold to McDonald's? How much of your data is being sold to these big fast food companies that are like, oh,
all of them.
just buy your food on KFC. We're gonna take that data and be like, hey, these guys ordered 5 Big Macs. Start selling it to the health insurance. Now your health insurance goes up. Now all of your premiums for everything go up because you're
Yes.
eating unhealthy.
It gets weird. It gets weird.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, that's a thought for you guys. We're gonna talk about the cigars a little bit again, and then when we come back, we do the battle of the logos and our football picks.
Yep.
Yep.
Good.
Good.
Well, let's do our battle of the logos.
Battle of the Logos.
Battle of the logos.
There we go. All right, so again, Dylan is the mathematics wizard. He's not here to help tally up the last week's picks. I have a feeling we did pretty good, though. I don't think there was too many surprises. So,
I have no idea how I did.
Dylan, if you're watching this at home, help us. Let us know. Put a comment in the comment section. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday we have the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I can start this one. I like the Steelers logo. I have always been liked the Steelers logo, so I'm going to go Steelers.
You're gonna go Steelers. That's a tough one. The Titans just had a great game last week. The Steelers not so great, but they're at home. I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Or about Dylan?
Dylan, he picked the Titans. He's going against us.
He's going against the tide.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We have our special guest, Andreas. What do you think?
Titans and Steelers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going for the Titans.
There.
Oh, he's going with Dylan.
There we
All
go.
right. Well,
We got a tie.
you have a point. Dylan is beating us as of last week. This week, I don't know how he did.
And I'm going to say there might be a little controversy about this. I need to go back and rewatch and see our.
Well,
I need to
welcome watch.
I need to recount all of these picks. I don't know.
Yeah, well. Okay,
Joking, Dylan.
So we
Joking.
got 2 and 2, so good.
Off to a good start. All right. Next game. Dolphins at wow. Probably the 2 best teams in the NFL right now, especially for the AFC.
So tell me a little bit of a story about these then. I have always picked the Dolphins from the beginning because I like Dolphins.
And they're a really good team.
And they're
6-2.
apparently they're a really good team.
And so are the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 6-2.
I think the Chiefs are the first place right now, right? Or not?
They're both 6-2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that it's like a points score or something like that.
Yeah, it goes by division. The Chiefs are in a very weak division. Dolphins are in a little bit better of a division. This is a tough one because the Dolphins have a fantastic offense. If they can get going, they're a very difficult team to beat. Their defense is okay. The Chiefs have a fantastic offense that once they get going, they're very hard to beat.
Okay.
The Chiefs' defense has always just been a little bit better. Thing is, the Chiefs end up playing to their opponent. If they're playing a bad opponent, like they lost the
Okay.
Denver Broncos, they lost to some team that they should have beat Easy. They beat the Broncos, but they only beat them by a small amount. Play good. If they're playing a bad team, they kind of just okay, we're showing up. We'll, I think we got this, and it'll be a close game. This is a real tough one.
I'm gonna go last on this one.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are gonna beat them. That's my upset pick of the week.
Okay, and what is Dylan going for?
Well, that's a great question. What did Dylan pick? He picked the Chiefs.
Uh-huh.
So we're split.
Andres?
I'm going to the Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Right. Yes. It's a silly logo. Is a dolphin? Dolphins is a cute little...
It's very cute. Yeah. And again, I'm a logo person. Based on the information they just put out there, right? You're saying if they're playing a good team, they will play well, which potentially they should beat the Dolphins.
Correct.
Because Dolphins are a good team.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
But as a logo person, I got a feeling that I will stick with the Dolphins to the end.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm a Dolphin.
Good.
A more well-developed logo.
Yeah, if the
That's
Chiefs,
true. Yeah.
if the Chiefs, although Chiefs have a secondary logo that's kind of nice.
Which one was it?
Dylan pulled up some of previous episodes, and I kind of liked it. But
Okay.
I'll go Dolphins anyways. Okay, Vikings and Falcons.
Yep.
There's a bird and screen. We know where we're going. So Dylan go first.
Okay. Dylan's pick. He picked the Falcons. He went birds
He
on
went
this
birds.
one. He went birds on this one. And there was an injury to the quarterback for the Vikings. He's out for the whole year. He tore his Achilles. So I don't think that's actually a bad pick at all.
Andre.
Going Falcons because of the injury.
Okay. Yep. Good logic.
I'm a bird guy. I'm a bird, and this is a bird supporting podcast.
Yes. Falcon. I'm going to go Falcons too. It's Falcons across the board.
Oh.
Support. Oh, man.
Well, hold on. I think I have a little
Seahawks.
scene for that. Hold on. Do I have a scene for that? I do. Well, I do have a scene for that, and it is. Okay. What are you picking? What you're going to pick? I know.
Yes.
I know. So you can go last on this one.
Okay.
Andrea, you go first. Seahawks had a bye week. So 6-2, kind of this scenario means 6-2.
Yeah.
Because they had a week that they didn't play. It's called a bye week. You see, I'm learning the thing.
Hilton, I'm really impressed. I mean, that was 100% correct.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Oh, you went against him. It's his team.
Seahawks.
I'll
is your
explain.
team?
Yeah, I'll explain. It's okay.
That's okay. Oh, Dylan picked up against you once.
Yes.
And what is Dylan picking?
He picked the Seahawks.
Oh, he's supporting friends.
He's supporting friends.
I'm going straight to the logic.
Do you know what? I'm a bird supporter, and it's a tie.
Wow.
It's a tie. But on the other hand, I'm a friend supporter.
You're even trying to win?
And the logo, if you see the logo of the Seahawks, it's like the Ravens were more aggressive than the Cardinals last week. And I picked the Ravens because of that. And I think I scored right because Cardinals probably has lost again.
Yeah, they did.
So Ravens did well for me last week. I'm afraid they will not do well this week for me because Seahawks will. Look at the logo of Seahawks. It's more aggressive, so a straight line. I'm going Seahawks.
And I think you did the right choice there, Hilton. So, Andrea, just to let you know, I was born in the Seattle area. It's the Seattle Seahawks. So I was raised as a Seattle Seahawks fan. The whole family Seattle Seahawks. It has significance, and I am pulling up last week's.
That's your team.
Yes, that's my team. That's my favorite team. Retro. So last week, they wore the old school, the original logo of the Seahawks.
Is that that's the same logo as now.
No, the new one is a little bit updated. It has cleaner lines. This is the updated version of the logo. This is the old one.
Oh, that's much nicer, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, 100%. So last week they played in this uniform and that helmet combination, and literally every single person said this is what the Seahawks need to wear every single game. Like, it's just beautiful. The significance of it is Pacific Northwest, the Native American Indians that live up in the Seattle or in that area, they have what's called totem poles, and totem poles
Oh, I see.
are like this. I'm gonna go to Wayfair, but yeah,
You can buy it for $87. Right?
there you go. But yeah, they have various animals. They have significance. They tell stories of the Native American culture, and so the original Seahawk logo has a very Native American feel to it and look to it. Inspiration, you should say. That's why I always.
Isn't there like not impersonating, but taking over the culture kind of thing? It's not a racist thing.
How dare you?
I think this is a good for luck.
Yes,
The change in the uniform.
Made
kind
in
of thing.
this kind of the Redskins.
they're not the Redskins anymore. That's they.
That's our old name.
Yeah, that's an old name. They thought that was too racist.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh god.
So they're the Commanders now. Washington
Oh, man.
Commanders.
What?
I like the name Commanders though, because I really like the name.
Yeah, so it was also a derogatory remark for Native Americans. You would call them Redskins because they're normally a bit like a darker complexion. So you would
And
call
being under the sun all the time, so it got reddish.
yes,
But was it? But even it was.
Like okay, so it's a symbolism like representing something that would be as a
representing like the culture.
not representing the culture, but it's like a, how should I say it? I don't have the word as well. I know what I mean.
I've seen the.
Homenaging.
Yes, I was trying to say.
Paying a homage,
Yeah.
yes, to the culture, and
The
that's
Redskins is a homage. How is that racist?
well. See, the thing is, if they were to say like the Washington Native Americans or the Washington Indians or something like that instead of Redskins, I think then it would be a little bit more appropriate in that aspect.
Let's go
Okay.
back.
Sorry.
Let's leave the politics
Yes.
out of this. So,
But
go back.
regardless, I think this is a much better logo for the Seahawks.
And then you are picking the Ravens then.
How dare you?
So Seahawks for you. So
Seahawks.
Cardinals and Browns. Oh man.
Dylan needs the quarterback for the Browns to actually show up and play. So Dylan picked the Browns.
Tips before we should.
Yeah. He knows about this stuff, man. He should be a football commentator.
Yeah.
Any controversies? Any
Card-
shitty plays?
Oh yeah, the Cardinals they only had one good quarterback and they just traded him to the Vikings because the Vikings lost their quarterback to that injury.
Okay.
So now the Cardinals, who are 1-7 and are the worst team in the NFL, just became even worse because they got rid of their quarterback that was okay.
Okay.
It's ultimately a bad bet.
They went from bad to worse.
Okay.
So,
And I'm a Bird supporter. So on that note, I'm gonna go with the Browns.
there you
I'm gonna go with the Browns
The
because I'm a
Browns all the
Bird
way.
supporter.
Yeah. All right, Andrea, did you?
Pick the Browns.
Okay.
And Dylan
Browns.
Browns and you Browns.
Yeah.
So it's a
Browns.
sweep.
It's exactly. Los Angeles Lakers.
Lakers. Lakers.
We see that logo there.
That's another one.
I can't say that's.
NBA is more my. I like more NBA.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more my.
I see LA and then with the yellow thing. To me, that's Lakers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's funny. I'll pull up Dylan. He picked the Rams with quotation marks Lakers.
Okay, Dylan picked the Lakers.
Yes.
And I'm picking the Lakers. I've been picking the Lakers.
I'm going for the Packers.
Packers has a nice
Because
logo
Rams
though.
is not a very good team
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm gonna pick.
in the history of the Rams. They don't have too much titles.
No, you're right. And that's why I'm gonna go with the Packers also. I think they're gonna do it at home.
Oh, 2-2.
Yeah.
Well, you see, the Packers has the very first time we talk about it has three colors around that G thing. But I'm going Lakers. I like the Lakers.
Do you want me to tell you the history about the Packers?
Yes.
One of the first NFL teams. They are the only team that does not have an owner. They are owned by the people of Green Bay. So and I was going to equate it to football in Brazil. Like you have, for example, you have like Grêmio and Inter because those are the teams that I know. Is there a specific owner of those teams? Or is it kind of owned by the city of
It's like
Porto
a
Alegre club?
I don't know because I don't understand.
Okay.
I mean, Andre might know it.
No. So, as an example, the Los Angeles Rams are owned by Stan Kroenke. He's a multi-billionaire real estate investor. He bought the team for billions of dollars, built a stadium. He owns the team. If he was to be like, you know what, I hate football, I don't want to do it, I'm going to sell the Rams, and they can be the Los Angeles Barbies for all I care. He can do that. He owns that team.
Well, if I was a billionaire, I would like people to vote in my favor because I chose to have a football.
Right. You would think that. But there's people that own football teams that are just terrible people. And there's some franchises like the Cleveland Browns. They're owned by and I forget who owns them. They just don't care.
Okay.
The Houston Texans are owned by an owner who just does not care. They'll keep picking the worst of the worst players. They'll never do anything good, but him as an owner, his value of the team keeps going up and up. Like it doesn't matter to him.
Okay.
It's just money. But the Green Bay Packers, on the other hand, is owned by the city or the people of the city actually buy percentages of the team. So you can.
So is it the government owns or the people own it?
The people of the city of Green Bay, which is a small little town in Wisconsin, they are actually the owners, small percentage owners the Packers.
If they win and the price goes up, actually, it helps with the population.
Yes, exactly. So it's an investment.
On
of
another
the people.
thought, I'm gonna go Green Bay Packers. I'm changing my vote.
Good.
Because I'm sympathizing with the people.
Owners are more involved.
Yeah, I'm a people's person. The same as I'm a birds person.
If you own a team, soccer or football and NBA, you are watching the career of the football player.
The players.
Right.
And I think the owners, they are not so much like cheering like for win.
Right.
They are focused on get rid of excellent players.
Right.
So
To
they
make
make money.
To
They
make
trade.
money.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are focused on the timing. This guy is gonna
You have to sell
have
now.
the
or-
Yes.
best season ever in my team, so I can sell it like for millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yes. And you're absolutely
That's
correct.
the managing of the team.
And that's where it's different with the Green Bay Packers, is because the Packers are owned by the fans.
They have the passion.
Yeah, I like the fans.
Yeah.
The fans.
And they're very passionate about the
And
team.
fans kind of, it's almost fins, which is dolphins. So, okay.
Wordplay.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
changed my
They
vote
don't
already.
have too much of creativity because it's a big G.
Yeah. It's the bottom. It's the bottom of the letters.
Yes.
So it's LA against G.
Go for the G.
Yeah.
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. At the Houston. There's your Texans. Here's your.
I voted against Texas before, even though I'm here in Texas and I've been picking Texans quite a few times. But I do like the Buccaneers name.
I'm not gonna do this.
And
Live here. Go ahead.
okay, why the logo is?
This is Texas.
And
Yeah.
that's Hilton's. That's always been his argument.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas. I got to go for the Texans.
But I like the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
I've always that's the tricky thing because I like, for example, because I don't know about the football
Right.
part of it. And I sympathize a lot with the Texans because they're here. But I like that Buccaneers name.
Yeah.
So I might need to get a bit close and see these logos. Hold on.
I can click on it. I think it'll pull up.
A bigger logo. It's kind of nice, the Buccaneers logo. Texas is a bull, and I'm smoking cigars, and some cigars have nice bullshit flavor to it. Okay, I'm Texans. I'm in Texas. I'm gonna go Texans. Thanks, Andrea, for helping me out on my decision in that.
Texas.
Is that who you're going to go for?
Yes, I'm going
Texans.
to Texas.
Well, Dylan and I are both going for the Buccaneers.
Oh, motherfucker! the
course
two,
you
the
are.
two footballer, understandable guys
Hilton.
picking the against me that know nothing about
This
it.
time, Konrad holding information for us.
Yeah.
He didn't share.
Hold on.
What are you holding on?
Hold
there?
on. Now, remember when Dylan did, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, when we were tallying it up. How many points did Dylan and I get, and then how many points did you get?
Based on the logos.
Yeah,
I
based
got
on the
9 and he got 5 and you got 4.
Yeah. So Hilton's logic is sometimes better than my logic. So there is no real logic into this. It's
I'll keep my vote.
okay. Next, it is the Commanders at the Patriots.
I'm gonna go Commanders,
All right.
which is the Redskins apparently.
Which is,
Yes.
it should be Redskins.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Patriots.
I'm gonna go with the
Showing
Patriots too.
upsetting the change in the name.
And let's see, Dylan went with the Commanders.
Okay, 2-2.
There
That's
we
good.
go.
That's good.
Split.
Yeah.
All right. All right, next we have the Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints.
The Bears are not really doing well for me.
No, they're bad.
I've been to Chicago, and
How was your trip to Chicago?
It was very nice.
Oh, very
It was
good.
very nice. Yeah, it was
Awesome.
pretty good. We didn't have time to catch up on that, but yeah, I like the city quite a lot. I mean, it's very lively, city. Very warmth of the people there, like very festive kind of people.
Yes.
So I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
The atmosphere and everything. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm gonna keep with Chicago.
Okay, not a bad pick. Not a great pick.
What are you doing?
I'm going to go with the Saints.
All right, and Dylan as well.
Dylan as well.
You football nerds.
I'm going to go with the Bears.
All right.
Thank you.
Next, it is the Indianapolis Colts at the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, Jesus. That Colts logo, it's nothing, is it?
No, it's really terrible.
Oh, my goodness. Although Panthers 1-6. They're really bad team.
Their logo is better, but their team is worse.
Well, their logo a little bit better, but it looks like it was just picked up from like a Word document kind of thing that we mentioned that before. Although the Colts is the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? But it reminds me a little bit more about cigars, so I'm gonna go Colts.
Okay. I'm gonna go Colts. Same with Dylan.
I hate to agree with you guys, but I'm going to the Colts.
Moving on, the New York Letters, the Giants, at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas for me, man.
I'm going to go Las Vegas. Same with Dylan.
I'm going to New York Giants.
Okay.
Because I want to win solo.
All right.
Okay.
Dylan is going to be crapping his pants seeing this game.
Birds! Oh, Eagles is 7-1.
They're one of the best teams in NFL. They are good.
Well, I gotta... Hey, Dylan, you've been sick. You're not showing up. This week, my friends, I'm gonna go with the Birds. I'm sorry.
Is Dylan a team?
Cowboys.
Yeah. Dallas Cowboys.
Very traditional.
Yes.
I mean, they could win that game and prove their worth.
It's a good game.
I think they have a very long streak of winning.
Yes.
They might lose them because...
It happened.
No, they lost twice in a row and then they won again.
Yeah.
I'm going to Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Eagles. I just did not back up what I just said.
The logic was there, but not your gut. Yeah, not the pick. Well, I have to honor friendship. Dylan did pick the Seahawks, even though I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Ravens. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was out of pity for me, friendship, but I got to pick the Cowboys. I got to support Dylan.
And is he picking the Cowboys or he's going to spite the team?
Of course, no.
He's never going to spite the team.
Yeah, he's a way better fan than I am with my team. So he picked the Cowboys. And
I know even I know the players that you should play.
Yeah, Cowboys are it's a very famous team.
Well,
this was my team.
Really?
Yes.
There you go.
Because of Thurman Thomas.
Yeah. He was really good.
He knows about football much more than I do.
Yeah, but Hilton's over here catching up. He's
catching up.
I'm learning a little bit. I'm not watching any game though, but I'm learning from you guys. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Knowledge is a blast.
Yeah.
As the same as ignorance.
Yeah. Take one or the other. What do you want?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All right. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bills.
I'm going to go Bills also. And Dylan, he picked the Bills.
It's a better logo, man.
Yeah.
You're all going with the logo in these.
Yeah, 100%. And then lastly, it is the Los Angeles Chargers at the New York Jets.
I don't like that logo, so I'm going to go with Jets.
I'm going to get away with that logo for so many years. Huh?
Yeah, they've had it for like 50 years. Dylan went with the Jets. I'm going to be the solo person and go with the Chargers.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
I want to see in the end who's going to score more points.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting one. But that's it. That's Battle of the Logos.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. And please send us your comments, your pics, and your spooky stories about ghosts and reincarnation and demons and yes.
AI robotics.
AI robotics.
Yeah.
Scary. Does that scare you or not?
Tell us. Let us
It
know.
scares me.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
See
you very
next week.
Bye.